I'm Jeff Philbin, and this is Dinner DeeAs, ideas for dinner that we'll show you how to make. Today, we learn the tricks to make a perfect vegetable stock from scratch and how to use it to make a classic French velouté sauce. All this week on Dinner DeeAs, we've been sharing 5 key sauces every home cook should know, commonly called the French mother sauces, because they're the foundation for so many other sauces and dishes. So far this week, we've already learned how to make a bechamel, an espagnole, and a tomato sauce. And if you missed any of those, they're all waiting for you to watch at our website, dinnerdeas.com. Today, though, it's the turn of a lesser known but equally important and more importantly, equally delicious sauce, a velouté. Here to share his take on it is Chef Jason Lutz, who runs Grace and Pasta Grill, and also, welcome back to the Dinner DeeAs kitchen, my friend. So great to have you.
Thank you for having me back.
And having some fun with this one here, because this sauce sometimes doesn't get the same love and appreciation as the other 4, but this rounds out the top 5 here.
Absolutely.
And you're going to be sharing the recipe for a velouté, how to make the sauce itself, and before that, we're starting how to make from scratch a vegetable stock.
Yes,
so we're taking it all the way back to the basics.
Oh yeah,
here.
This goes way back to culinary school for us.
So is this a fun trip down memory lane for you too?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, let's start with that. Let's have some fun.
That's something that we use at the restaurant all the time. Almost every day we're making vegetable stock, utilizing the ends of an onion and the carrots and saving it all to make a flavorful stock.
So you just use a keyword for me that I just picked up on, saving some of the vegetable remains. You know, when we think about the cost of groceries today, this is something that anyone at home could be able to just say, hey, I had a dish that I used these ingredients, but don't throw it away. You can make a stock with it.
Absolutely. Figuring out what to do with your product, utilizing everything is going to make it feel better, and you're not throwing stuff away at the end of the week.
I love that. How do we get this started then?
So if you want to put a little vegetable oil in the pot for us, and heat that up a little bit, and then we could add our vegetables. These are onions, some celery, and some carrots.
So we just have a nice little bit of the mirepoix here to work with.
That'll bring the heat down just a tad.
To try your hand at making the velouté sauce or just the stock, grab the recipe at our website, dinnerdeas.com. It's all there, ready to print with the ingredients you'll need and the amounts. Just find us on your phone right now. I give you permission to pull your phone out. All you got to do is just scan the QR code down there in the corner of your screen. Now, what else do we need to do to really make this come alive?
So for now, we're trying to season the entire stock at this point. So we're going to take some of our salt. I'm going to put about half of that in there.
Half of it, all right. Hey, I just want a little bit here. You're saying go?
That's good right there. Let's go with that. And then our spices, we have some fennel, some peppercorn, some garlic, some bay leaves.
Okay.
And we're going to toast all that up with the vegetables and the salt. So now we're going to add some wine to this.
Okay.
Give a little acidity, so drip some of that in there, but about half of that. Save a little bit for yourself for later.
Okay.
So as that cooks down, we're going to add some tomato to it.
Now you're adding the tomato. Is there any other vegetables? Could you use any more?
Yeah, a lot of times we'll put fennel in there as well. That adds a nice little kind of anise flavor to it.
Okay.
And just kind of whatever vegetables you have around. You could, if you had parsnips, you could put that in there as well. The parsnips add a little bit more of a spiciness, while the carrots a little bit sweeter. You kind of just whatever you like.
Okay.
I wouldn't go with like vegetables that break up real easy, like broccoli or something like that. You might not want to put those kind of vegetables in there.
So something that's going to be a little bit firmer, and so that way then you can really make sure that it has the integrity while it is starting to cook inside this liquid.
Mostly root vegetables of some kind are really good to use.
Very good. All right. And I see a lot of water here.
We got some water, so we're going to add that to it here in a little bit.
Okay.
Let some of the wine cook down. And we could probably get that going here shortly. And we're also, we're going to start the base of the sauce.
Okay.
We're going to do that and start heating up some butter. This is a clarified butter, which you boil out the butter, remove the milk fat solids from it, and it makes for a better roux. You could also use vegetable oil. So we're going to start melting this. Kind of cook that in there with some onions.
And so this is going to be the base then for our velouté sauce.
Correct. So once again, we're going to season our onions. That's probably good there.
Okay.
That'll help bring out the moisture of the onion and give it more flavor as well.
It looks like it's been evaporating a lot over here with that one. You think we're good to start adding some more?
Yeah, let's go ahead and add one of those containers of water. Now we'll just kind of let that kind of do its work its magic there.
Okay.
And we're going to add some more vegetables to our velouté base. So we have some minced celery.
Okay.
And some minced parsnips. Like we mentioned earlier, parsnips very similar to a carrot. Has a little bit more of a spice than a sweet. So it's something we'll make as a puree a lot of times and add vanilla bean or something to give it some accent to give it a little, bring out the flavor and something a little different.
Now with this though, you did chop this a little bit finer though. This one you actually did take the time to do a nice cut versus where we had just a rough cut over here with our stock, and that's intentional.
Yes, that's intentional. We could serve it just like this with the vegetables in it and have a vegetable entree base.
Very nice. So the dicing over here, the rough chop over here.
Yeah, we're going to end up straining that out later on the show, and then it'll be discarded if we wanted it to be.
When we come back, more chef secrets to a sublime stock, and Chef Jason rustles up a roux ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. Our week-long celebration of sauces continues as we make all 5 of the famous mother sauces. So called because they're the starting point for a world of delicious dinner ideas. Chef Jason Lutz is with us today from Grace and Pasta Grill, sharing his take on a velouté, which is French for velvety. Before the break, we went right back to basics with how to make a base vegetable stock from scratch. We heated some oil and added onions, celery, and carrots along with fennel seeds, bay leaves, salt and pepper, garlic, letting them brown just a little bit, then use a little wine to deglaze and add in a tomato and some water to let it all simmer together. Meanwhile, we start our velvety velouté, heating butter and adding onions, celery, parsnips, just a little salt, and let that cook for about 10 minutes without letting it brown. But this is not done over here. This stock is not done. We can still have some more fun with adding some more herbs to this.
That's not done yet. I usually like to add the fresh cut vegetables or the fresh cut herbs at the end so they retain their color and the chlorophyll doesn't get broken down too much. So we could add some parsley stems.
Okay.
We can go ahead and add those and some thyme and some bay leaves. And then we'll kind of just let that maybe reduce the heat on that.
Okay. And what about the celery tops? Can I go ahead and add these in now too?
We can add the celery as well, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So everything can go right into it.
We're all in the pot now.
Don't throw away your vegetable scraps.
No way.
You use all of it.
No way. Celery tops make a great little salad too. If you ever had trying to figure out something to do with those, you could just pick them and put them in some ice water, brighten them up, and put them in a salad. It's great flavor.
I love it. And so this has just got to simmer here for a little bit longer. How long should this simmer for the optimal flavors?
You can let it go for like a half hour.
Okay.
You know, it's 60 minutes at the most. Once it gets too long, the vegetables break down and it loses its color, and it gets a little kind of overcooked tasting.
All right. Class, listen up. The handout for this Velouté 101 isn't in your $300 textbook. It's free to grab at our website, dinnerdeas.com. Chef Jason has everything that you need ready to print. Just get your phone. Yes, you can bring your phone out in class for this one. Scan the QR code in the corner of your screen to check it out. All right. This looks like it's coming along really nicely.
Absolutely. We got some nice transparent vegetables. They're ready for us to add some flour.
And that's the key with this, is seeing the translucency is knowing that's when I should do the next step. That's when I should be adding this flour.
Absolutely. So this is a method, a French method called Sanger method, where you're creating a roux with the vegetables at the same time. So we're going to add some of our flour, just kind of work that in and start cooking. We put in the flour and then we try to cook out the flour.
Okay.
The taste of the flour.
And there's no whizzing. It's just making sure that you're cooking that flour to form that beautiful blonde roux. That's the key, is the color here.
Absolutely. When you're doing a darker roux, you wouldn't want to cook your vegetables like this. They end up getting the dark roux gets really, really hot and breaks down the vegetables to where they're almost a mush. But at this point, you'll still retain some of the texture of the vegetables while you're making the roux at the same time.
And you can really see it already instantly working and really thickening up here.
Absolutely. So we're getting to that point. It may take not too long. You don't want to start, if it gets a little bit brown, it's okay. You'll start to smell a little bit of nuttiness from the flour and the butter. And then at that point, we could start adding our stock to it.
When we come back, stock meets sauce as we finish up our velouté and Chef Jason shares his favorite ways to use it ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. It's Mother Sauce Week all week long as we share the simple sauces everyone should know to open up your culinary horizons. Today we say, hey, to Velouté. As a friend of the show, Chef Jason Love shares how he makes this velvety vessel of deliciousness from scratch. Before the break, we added the final flourishes to our homemade vegetable stock. Thyme, parsley, bay leaves, celery tops. Let that continue to simmer. Then we continued our velouté sauce, adding flour to make what our French friends call a blonde roux that we're still kind of stirring coming through. And you could really start seeing the changes in that color.
Yeah, so it's all kind of coming together. Our flour's cooked out. We're going to add a few more ingredients here at the end. We have a little bit of chopped garlic, have some black pepper, and some bay leaf. You can add that. And then let's go over and strain our stock.
Okay.
So we could add that. We could finish with some more ingredients in a minute.
How do you know exactly when it's ready?
Well, you could just smell the smell of it. You really get the kitchen going. You could kind of just smell all those vegetables where they've just been cooking. I'll put the dried herbs in, let those cook for about 20 minutes. And
so this is something you don't need to think about, like this is a whole day's worth of preparation. 45 minutes,
no, it could be quick. If you're doing like a chicken stock or something else, that's going to take longer. And usually with that, I'll cook the bones first, and then go to this as the final chapter of it. So cook the bones for a couple hours,
okay,
and then add your vegetables if you wanted to do something different, like a chicken stock or a chicken velouté or a turkey for Thanksgiving or something like that.
So wait, so you can have a little bit of some fun and some versatility with this then too.
Absolutely.
Like that.
Absolutely.
So you were just saying Thanksgiving?
It makes a nice thin gravy that is very appealing to a lot of people, including myself.
So this could be a great substitute at that point.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, very cool. And now this could be perfect for what you need for your next sauce. You could also go right ahead and start doing this in bulk, freeze it, put it away. And you said 4 to 5 days in a refrigerator, and you can put it into the freezer and have that much more time
for a few
with it
months,
as well.
right? Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe move this off since
So
we're
the
done with
ice
that.
cube tray can be a really great friend right now.
Sure.
All right.
Not only for your cocktails, but for your stock as well, right?
Isn't it always fun for that too?
So now we're going to start working in our hot stock. It's good to use a hot stock when you're adding this to your roux.
And how much should we be adding? What are we looking for? What type, are we looking to really thin this out?
You want to put a little bit in at a time. If you dump it all in at once, it takes a lot longer to bring back. So this way, if you do like a third at a time, we can get our whisk, and it'll see it kind of getting really thick.
Okay.
So then we can bring that to about another third of this. And let that heat back up.
And you've got some interesting ingredients that you're going to be adding into this.
Yes, we have a tomato fennel jam that we make at the restaurant.
A tomato fennel jam that you guys are making at the restaurant. That sounds really exciting. What else is going on in those flavors? What should we be tasting, something like that?
It's a version of another mother sauce or tomato sauce. So we take onions and fennel, saute them with some chili flakes, some garlic, a little red wine reduction, and then tomato sauce and some sugar.
So, I mean, you know, the whole purpose of this entire week of programming here is that a mother sauce allows you the foundation to continue to build other flavors, other ways that you can be able to take that foundational sauce, this mother, and be able to go out.
Absolutely.
You're using it every day in the restaurant.
Absolutely. Gives you some options and, you know, something that, so it doesn't get boring. It's not the same old traditional tomato sauce. Yeah.
How fun is that for you as a chef to know that you have hundreds of years of traditions, culture that have been ingrained in these French sauces, where we as foodies and chefs and everyone has that being the basis of that educational premiere. But for you to say, hey, I want to play around with some other ingredients of this one here. This tomato jam, that's me.
Yeah, all recipes are just guidelines. You could change things to your own taste. If you didn't want to put tomato, you could leave it like this. If you wanted to use seafood and you had some shrimp and you wanted to do like a shrimp and grits or something, you could use this sauce as your base with some shrimp flavor in it. Make it a little spicy if you wanted to add a little jalapeno or whatever it might be. You could use the Trinity for some Creole thing to do like a Creole velouté.
I love it. I love it. Very cool. And so then this is going to just come up to just a nice little bit of a simmer.
Yeah, we'll let that go for a little while. It'll kind of need to cook for about 40 minutes, half to an hour, to cook out the rest of the flour and to get the right consistency.
To make a classic or a tomato velouté for your dinner, or for how to do a simple vegetable stock, grab Chef Jason's recipe at our website, dinnerdeas.com. Just scan the QR code to find us on your phone. All right.
So now we're going to add our tomato jam and give it a nice little pink color and add some acidity. And then we're going to add a little lemon juice.
Just a little lemon juice, okay. And this has got to cook down for quite some time.
It's going to have to cook for a little while, a little bit longer than we have today to spend on it, but we do have some.
The magic of television here, and just like that, we slide in an already completed one here for you.
We have a completed version here that's been strained out with a strainer, and we have a dish that we make at the restaurant. It's a pork tenderloin that we sear off. Okay. And it's got a little bit of the tomato jam on top, some pork belly, a little pastina pasta, which is just like a little baby pasta.
And is that some capers that I see too?
And the little capers, so it's like a little tomato caper velouté sauce is our sauce for that.
And that's how you make that sauce to be able to complete a dish that is on the restaurant, at the restaurant right now.
Absolutely, we're making this at least once a week or twice a week.
Oh, come on now. That's absolutely incredible, because if you make this for your dinner before you eat it, and if you can wait that long, take a photo and share it with us at facebook.com/dinnerdeas. That's what Jean did. She's watching us in Riverview. Hi, Jean. And was inspired to make the shrimp Caesar and no-bake naan recipe shared by Chef Kyle Luke from Yuppie, served with a delicate vintage cold when you went right for the Bud Diesel over there, my friend. Jean told us it was awesome. #1 in my book. Love you and all the chefs. Jean, we love you too. Thank you so much for watching. When we come back, though, our verdict on Chef Jason's velouté ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz. Chef Jason Lutz is with us today for another very welcome visit from Grace in Pasta Grill, and he's sharing his classical training with us as we make another of the essential mother sauces today, a velouté, which we made from scratch with a fresh vegetable stock combined with a simple roux, a little tomato fennel jam, because you got to have a little fun with it too, my friend.
Absolutely.
You did it. And we're serving this like a dish that is direct from your restaurant menu, this beautiful pork tenderloin that looks absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
Remind us of all these beautiful flavors here.
Thank you. We got a pork tenderloin that we're sous videing, and then we'll take it out and pan sear it with some black pepper and fennel pepper. And then we'll take a pork belly. We're roasting that. We kind of sear that and roast it and cook it in some pork fat. It also has some of our fennel pepper seasoning on it. We got some pastina pasta. It's just a little pearl pastas. I think these are shaped like stars. And then we've got some fried capers and our tomato velouté.
And I think that's the most fun part about this, is that you can have so many incredible ways to be able to, have a great dish, but you can celebrate the mother sauce, the velouté, in such a way that complements all these flavors. Let's go right into
Absolutely.
it. You know what's beautiful about this? Is I'm going right just back in for the sauce. Because of the fact that this is a foundation, you can build anything you want. You can incorporate new flavors. You can modernize dishes. You can be able to be as classic as you want to be. The true test was always going to be, is it still going to be velvety?
Really good, right?
Is it still going to have that?
Right.
Then you throw into, it's good. Then you nailed it. You nailed it. I mean, and how fun is that to be able to just evolve dishes, traditions, and everything that you've learned in culinary school?
Which makes it all worthwhile.
It makes it all
really
worthwhile.
does.
Because, I mean, this is absolutely a showstopper because it all starts with a solid foundation, and you can build anything you want from there. Thanks again to Chef Jason. Find a link to his restaurant, Grace, and grab his velouté recipe at dinnerdeas.com, along with our other mother sauce episodes. If you miss any, tomorrow, come on back for more as our mother sauce week wraps up how to make a hollandaise. I'm Jeff Philbin. Thanks for watching, and see you next time for more Dinner Dias.